There we go. We're back. And, totally worse than ever. Okay. 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 Inboxes. Alright, totally lost. But moving on. Singing? Really? Singing? Wow, okay. Not that bad. Let's go have a look at our video. on YouTube. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. Wow, lost the video. Oh well. It's damn weird. I'm just curious. Okay, lost the video. Wow, lost the video. Oh well. It's damn weird. Alright. Okay. Okay, not the right one. Oh wow, the IE is dead to the world. Okay. Hello, viewer, whoever you may be.
Step 13. Enjoy popular music.
Jump the charts again. Everything is awesome.
Oh my gosh, I love this song. Always use a turn signal. Park between the lines. Yes. Drop off dry cleaning before noon. Read the headlines. Don't forget to smile. Always root for the local sports team. Always return a compliment. Hey, you look nice. So do you. Drink overpriced coffee.
There you go. That's $37.
Awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Did you see where are my pants last night, buddy?
Everything is awesome.
Instructions coming in from Central. Okay, it says here to take everyone weird and blow it up. Alright, okay. Let's make it look exactly like it does in the instructions. Hey, buddy, I need a 1x2 keyhole.
No problem, Michael.
2x2 macaroni over here.
2x2 macaroni flying in. Here's one, Mel.
Cheese look! Cheese look! Come on, everybody!
Hey, there, Roger.
Coming at you. Can I get a couple LARPs over here?
Thanks, Gail.
Hey guys, watch me drill this down.
Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome.
Man, I feel so good
good right now. I can sing this song for hours.
Everything is awesome.
When you're part of a team. Woo!
Oh. I'm not much in a mood to lecture about a subject. That's not my kind of thing. So, I'm gonna turn on some Crimson Circle. If somebody wants to join and have a chat, we can do that. But in between, where am I on the Crimson Circle series? Thinking on 4.
I am that I am. Autumn of Sovereign Domain. Welcome to Amyo. Welcome to your natural state of being. Fully trusting in yourself. There was a time when you could let another being into your heart, into your soul.
Never.
Without fear, without worrying that they were going to take from you. It's gotten put down, run out, fenced off, walled in, whatever you want to say, but all this difficult, challenging experience, all the heartbreaks and the pain and the agony, and part of you still wonders, is it going to happen again? When will it happen again? Some of you still feel it's inevitable. Because it's happened before, it's going to happen again. But what if you can imagine for a moment, it doesn't ever have to happen again? Not because you're tough and strong, not because you have a lot of spiritual cliches to use for your defense, but because you trust yourself that much, that deeply, nothing can ever hurt you, ever take anything away from you, ever suppress you or enslave you again. And it's real. It's very, very real. Very real. Unless you want it to happen. We'll talk about that in just a moment. So welcome to this classroom of the new energy. Welcome to you. To you, what you're learning. I had a question asked the other night in one of our interviews. But Alice, how come you're so nice tonight? Simple. It was a nice audience. And that's so very true, because in this new energy, there's nothing that you don't already know, nothing that any of the other masters or ascended beings have anything any better than you. But what happens when we gather like this, we join our energies together, and in a sense you're making a request specifically for where you are. You're sending a message shortly in advance, or when we go into this shout energy, saying, here's what I need to know about today. It's amazing. We just went about 2 levels deeper, or broader, as you can say, by allowing me to infuse myself in you. And then at the end, you can exhale. When Andrea does the breathing at the end of this gathering, then exhale. Release me. Oh, please don't keep me inside. I have things to do later. Release me. But the experience remains, or the feeling remains. So today we're going to cover some important things, as always. So we're going to talk about some of the 4 energy dynamics taking place right now. This is you. These are the 4 dynamics taking place. But before we go into these, because you're all asking, what's going on lately? What's this all about? Part of you loves it, part of you is confused, part of you doesn't know what to do with it. So we'll talk about that today. Before we do that, let's take a little journey together. Imagine. Oh, I love imagination. Imagination is the expression of spirit. It's the flow of energy. Imagination has been so suppressed. What a mental world. I actually don't know if I could come back like Tobias did. The world has become so unimaginative, uncreative, by the book, structured, boring. And actually, you know what? Because it's actually kind of boring out there in a way, sometimes you do things to break the boredom. A little drama, a little excitement, a little chaos, a little panic. I would too. The world has gotten so mechanical and literal. It's gotten so unimaginative. You have to escape in your dreams at night to get just a little bit of imagination. So you go out into the other realms and dream of all these crazy, bizarre things, and then you come back in the morning and say, what was that all about? Well, it was an imagination fart that you did while you were sleeping. You had to let it out. Sorry, David, I didn't mean to do that right in front of you. So let's take a journey. Use the imagination. We're going to take a journey underwater. Why not? Water is a great place. To do so, please don or put on a scuba outfit. We're going to go deep, so you'll need it. A wetsuit, the appropriate gear, the tanks, scuba tanks, air tanks, the mask. Go ahead, imagine yourself putting them on. Not a fashion show. You don't have to select different colors. Unless you want to, of course. So you just hop right in. You don't have to go through each individual motion. You know what? You can imagine, like that you're in the suit. Some of you get very literal. First, I have to put on the pants. And no. You're in the suit now, you see? Oh, feels good. Put the mask over your face. Suddenly, we're out on a boat in the middle of natural health is natural. Health is natural. Anything out of biological balance is unnatural. Considering that you're a natural being, it's time to get back to these natural things. The patterns, old patterns, are stopping you. You have to leap the pattern. Let go of the pattern. A lot of times, one part of you thinks, yes, I want to have money, for instance, but another part of you cringes, like, oh, you're so greedy, or it's going to corrupt you, or you're just having a lot of wishful thinking, any of those things. You have to leap that. You have to say, that was a pattern, I'm letting it go, damn it. Don't let the mind gets into patterns. Don't get mad at the mind, it's just doing what it was programmed to do. And you say, abundance is a natural state of being, I trust my abundance, and then it is. Don't dwell on it, don't do daily hocus pocus over it, don't get mental about it. The minute you get mental, you're back in a pattern, and it's not going to happen. The I am, the Am-Yo, is natural abundance. Why not? Why not? So, good. Patterns. Next. Challenges in your life.
Nice hair.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice hair.
Yeah.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably the process of hurting myself lately.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah.
Yeah. First it
Is
was
that better than emotional?
It probably hurts a little more.
Yeah.
Either work-wise or just car wreck-wise.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. So pattern. What's going on there?
Well, I thought it was a wake-up call, but it seems to be not working here.
Well, this is a little bit different than the other patterns. Actually, this one is serving you, and I want to address to everyone that your case may not be just like their case, but here you're hurting yourself physically. It's a shock. It's painful. But the wonderful thing is you're setting up to allow an infusion of more of your spirit into this reality. You recognize that you can't do it mentally. Part of you still doesn't get the whole breathing, allowing, accepting thing because you're very macho. So what do? A macho guy hurts themselves, and the pain, the shock in the moment, spirit is infused into your body. And you can keep doing it that way, or you can get into that feminine energy and just breathe it in. Yeah.
That would be better.
That would be better. But you're probably not going to do it because, well, or are you? Give it a shot. Like, go ahead, give it a shot with everybody here. Just breathe it in. Don't think about it. That's when you hurt yourself. Just breathe it in. Keep working on that breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And get you back into your body. That's an invitation for spirit to come into your life. Good.
That's better.
Good. Next time you hurt yourself, call me.
I thought I did last time.
Well, you called me, but you called me something. Next, one more. Patterns. What's the challenge in your life right now?
Trusting my intuition.
Yes. Okay.
My heart, my head.
Okay, that's an easy one. It's a pattern. You've been programmed out of intuition, gotten into the brain. Intuition is either considered frivolous or dealing with the darkness, the unknown realms. Intuition also is something that all of you were programmed to no longer trust. It was convenient because if you were programmed not to trust yourself, you followed the systems. Well, there were those who ruled and governed and cranked out belief systems that said this is better. Intuition's a bad thing, and as a matter of fact, will burn you if you use it. So you have these patterns of staying away from intuition, not letting it come into your life. Intuition is a natural state of being. Mental is not natural. Mental is false. Again, nothing against the mind. We're just trying to get beyond the old programming, beyond the old patterns.
Look at that.
The list could go on and on, but it's essentially about 4 different things. Tobias talked about it years ago. It is about abundance. Abundance is natural. Let it back in. Stop thinking about it. Just be it. Stop scheming. Stop scheming. There's so many of you scheming for abundance. Just let it come in. Sorry. The other one is your body, your health issues. And again, there's a lot of physical things going on because you've gotten into the pattern of displacing or misidentifying energies and putting them into your body, and then your body gets sick in response to it. The false messages coming from the mind, the not knowing how to keep the physical energies moving and flowing. They back up and they cause physical problems. For right now, for any of you that has any sort of physical ailment at all, whether it's cancer, diabetes, aches and pains, arthritis, any of those other things, I have to tell you, from my perspective, these are false. They're absolutely false. Yes, they're diagnosed by a doctor who does X-rays and all these other things. They're all false. They don't belong there. They're not yours. Don't carry them around anymore. They're old patterns, old ways of really bringing in and then kind of burying energy or avoiding it, and then obviously it pops up somewhere. It pops up in your kidneys or your livers or your liver. I only have one. And your hearing, your sinuses, whatever it is, and then you wonder what you're doing wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. False signals. There is nothing wrong with you. It's that easy. It is that easy. That easy. There are patterns in relationships, and these are some of the gnarliest, stickiest ancestral karma karma going long, long ways, and the fact that you still haven't learned that you're your own best lover and you're your own best partner, but you want to keep trying to find a partner who is going to unbalance you, not always, but a lot. You're looking for something in a partner that you think that you can't have within yourself. So you end up in these bad relationships. You become patterned into them. You don't know any better. There are patterns in your life that you're actually not willing or ready to let go of. You're really not. This is whatever it is, and then you wonder what you're doing wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. False signals. There is nothing wrong with you. It's that easy. It is that easy. That easy. There are patterns in relationships, and these are some of the gnarliest, stickiest ancestral karma going long, long ways, and the fact that you still haven't learned that you're your own best lover and you're your own best partner. But you want to keep trying to find a partner who is going to unbalance you, not always, but a lot. You're looking for something in a partner that you think that you can't have within yourself. So you end up in these bad relationships. You become patterned into them. You don't know any better. There are patterns in your life that you're actually not willing or ready to let go of. You're really not. Because what if you didn't have this financial issue? What if, big pattern here, search for God or truth or the answer, or whatever Makyu you want to call it, the search. That's a big pattern. That's a huge pattern. What if you got into enlightenment in this moment? What's going to happen? You'll vanish off the face of the earth, probably. And part of you says, well, I can't because I have to take care of my kids. Oh, really? Your kids, they're yours? You own them? You made them? Well, kind of. But they're not yours. And believe it, they really don't need you. I hate to tell you, they really don't. I mean, love you, yes, need you. Like you think, like you want them to need you, like you're sometimes desperate for. No. They really don't. So you use things like, but if this good thing happens in my life, if I suddenly have a book that's a major, huge hit and that everybody loves and it really helps other people, what are you going to have to give up? You have to travel around, get in front of groups, talk your truth for once. You're going to have to answer questions. You're going to be put on the spot. Other people will come to you about their lives. That's a lot of pressure. Let's just not do it, and we'll just complain about it instead. Sorry. It's a pattern, my dear. Don't you see it? It's a pattern. And every one of you has a metaphorical book or a project or something you want to do or become. Do channeling, do grand music, or it doesn't have to be grand. But what you give up, what patterns have to shift and change when you let yourself realize your dreams. That's what's holding you back. I don't care what it is that you have or don't have, what your issue is. There's an old pattern in it, and what I'm asking you to do is look at the pattern, look at the issue. What would happen if you didn't have that anymore? What happens if you have to give up your alien mind control? Using that as an extreme example. Really, oh, you wouldn't believe the calls we get every night about it. How do I get rid of the aliens? Talk to Andra. She'll beat them out of you. But I mean, they believe it's real. We look and say, wow, really? But they're in that pattern for a reason. It's serving them, just like any pattern, anything that you're uncomfortable with is serving you. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. If it's there, you must like it. If you're miserable, you must like it. There's people who love emotion and drama, or they complain about it because it's emotion and drama. But if it's there, please look at why. Please look at why. There's nobody inflicting it on you, and it's not because you're a bad person, or it's not because you're not spiritually enlightened. It's serving you until you let it go. You have to take a look at what are you going to give up? A relationship? Kids? Physical reality on the planet at this time? You're going to have to give up your privacy. You're going to have to give up maybe, just maybe, the games. The Makyo.
Wow.
Which leads us into our next point. And this one is
Not giving up my
worthy
games.
of a whole shout in itself. Whole shout. But this one is really coming up right now. Actually, has surprised those of us on the other side. It's coming up that enough so that it deserves more discussion than what we're going to have today. Destiny. The whole belief in destiny. That's a tough one to let go. Because the moment that you do, you have to take responsibility. It's actually, I would say, easier for a human to believe in and to give up to a higher authority. Whether you call the higher authority your soul, that's a bunch of Makyo at times. You know, like your soul has this plan and it's making you go through it in a painful, miserable, unconscious way. Really?
Maybe.
Or
Maybe.
do you think destiny comes down from God? Really? God has no destiny. The Spirit, all that was, doesn't really care. Doesn't need to care. Has no plan for you. How often do I hear from the religious types on earth right now about God's plan? What? God doesn't have a plan. If God had a plan, it'd already be done, and then you wouldn't be going through all this. God's plan would have an ending. So, there is no destiny. There is absolutely no karma. Absolutely none. There is no soul plan. Yes, you had some things you wanted to do while you were here, but those are done. They were gone years ago. And a lot of you are operating in the void now. What should I do? Waiting for somebody to show up. You ask me all the time, Adamus, what am I supposed to do? I don't care. I want you to stop asking me that question. That's what I really want. It's the only thing I care about in the universe. Stop asking me that question. It doesn't matter. Can you handle that? It doesn't matter. There is no plan. There is no angel league. There is no council of 83 up there that's directing this. Astrology. I love astrology. But I hate what humans have done to it. They have decided that it's the new guiding influence. Well, new, I mean thousands of years old. But they have bought into old patterns of astrology. Astrology is neither plus nor minus. Astrology isn't a directive. Astrology, if you really look at it, is layer after layer after layer of potentials. But humans look at one layer and say, oh, I'm supposed to be like this, I'm supposed to be like that, I'm supposed to... You know how many humans every day read cheap astrology and then believe it, and then it happens, and they say, see, this is what it said. Well, sure, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then it happens, they get into that pattern. Astrology is a beautiful thing if you look at it as a mechanism for exploring potentials and then selecting the ones that you want to experience. If you go beyond the typical charts, go deeper into astrology, multi-dimensional astrology, you'll see every potential that you can choose from. And because you created those potentials, there are almost infinite potentials to choose from. When humans buy into any sort of destinal package, I made that word up, I like that. You're buying into a package like you'd buy into a package for your internet and television and cell phones. You know, like you're going to get a package deal. Like, what's my destiny? And then you kind of accept it. And on your bad days, you say, I don't know. I just can't figure this one out. It's somewhere out there. My soul must know. You are your soul now. No more separation, no more division. You are your soul. I'll move this along because Linda says that we should be brief. But I have so much fun with Shaumbra. Other groups would have thrown me out by now. You let me stay. I mean, what a blessing. Next, take a deep breath because this one might come as a bit of a surprise. These are the dynamics at work. Today, right now, this is why you're feeling, thinking, reacting, hurting, inspiring how you are, because these are at work right now.
I'm not very green. You're using up a lot of paper.
I love using paper because we'll grow more trees. So, next, purpose. And it goes back to the earlier question, purpose. Like a big statement here. You're going to have to really chew on this, and you can throw things at Cauldre after I leave if you don't like this. You do not need a purpose in order to exist.
What?
But you believe that you do. What's my purpose? What? And it ties into destiny, it ties into patterns, and it ties into pressure that you're getting right now. The vast majority of humans believe they have to have purpose. There are books out there right now that just make me want to do spiritual vomiting. The purpose-driven life. Oh no, here we go again, down the tubes. And purpose is Makyo, absolute Makyo. But you still wake up in the morning saying, what's my purpose? Do I have to heal others? Do I have to save the planet? No, there is no purpose. Get it? There is no purpose.
What?
Breathe that one in. Oh, that's a big vacuum. Or not. There is no mission. We're going beyond old energy passion. In other words, that you have to do something. You have to be something. There has to be a purpose. God must have put you here for a purpose. God doesn't care. Really. Spirit has no plan for you and therefore no purpose for you. You do not need a purpose to exist. Therefore, can you exist? Can you get over that huge, old thing? And that's what's happening in your life right now. It's coming up. You've had purpose on top of purpose, layer and layer and layer and layer of purpose. A purpose has been kind of an interesting rocket fuel to get you through a lifetime. Your purpose actually kind of keeps you here, but it's false. And sooner or later, part of you says, hey, that's a bunch of Makyo. You know, my purpose is to fill in the blank. And then, let's say you reach the purpose, then you get really, really depressed. And it's really sad when you reach the purpose. So you know what you do? You put the purpose in front of you like a big spiritual carrot. And you're always then trying to get the purpose. You're working for the purpose. You become righteous. You become driven. You become neurotic and insane. Trying to get to this purpose that's never there. Let's cut the string right now. There is no purpose. Whoa. But then you say, my life is meaningless. Yeah, kinda. There's no purpose, there's no meaning, there's no passion. Yes, those are old, and they're Makyo. We're talking about Amyo now. Those are so old and so infested with maggots and critters and junk and garbage, and it's a cesspool. Can you imagine for a moment a life without purpose? Can you imagine writing a book, The Purposeless Life? Parentheses in answer to all of you anal buttheads who believe there has to be a purpose. I would love it. I do better at book titles.
Buttheads?
Buttheads. I do better than Katumi at book titles, I think. You know, purpose. Purpose is our...
It better. Free admission. So the real question is, where the hell is it? Blah, blah. It's next to the center then. Shawnee. Okay. Man, that's far, I think.
Really bad partner. Really bad. It will rob you. It will steal from you. It will deceive you and delude you. And it will falsely inspire you. But when it falsely inspires you, it keeps you from your true inspiration, which is just to be. Just to be, without purpose, without meaning. How liberating, how amazing that you can just exist for the sake of existence. That your passion is just to be. That you think you're Ali. Oh, we won't go there. Amen? No, let's not do that. So, it is so liberating, but yet so challenging. So, you've had things come into your life lately. You didn't know what they were, but what does this mean? There is no meaning. What am I supposed to do? Nothing. All of this going back and forth. And then you're wondering, what's wrong with me? Nothing. So I want you in this next month to really feel into no purpose. No purpose. Let yourself go absolutely meaningless. Let yourself go. I have no purpose here. No passion. It's going to feel very odd and uncomfortable at first because you've been driven for lifetimes. Purpose and passion have sucked you back in here before you were actually ready to come back into this lifetime. It's Makyo at its finest. But you don't need it anymore, and you're experiencing the energies around you that are nudging you, pushing you out of purpose. Get out of that old, it's programming. It's a bunch of old self-programming, mass consciousness programming from beings from the other realms who are sticking their psychic probes somewhere down into you. And they love humans with purpose. It's the greatest way to tingle with you, to dance with you, to manipulate. Let go of purpose. I mean, old energy, purpose, the way you've thought of it. Let go of passion and discover what's really there. It's amazing. It's challenging. And you're going to do something, I'll tell you in advance, because I know you. You're going to say, okay, I've thrown out this, I've thrown out that, and I've thrown out all these other things. I'm clear, Adamus. I threw out all my purpose and passion. I'm going to say, no. Check your pockets out. You're still hiding. Oh, I forgot it. I forgot to take that one out too. And I say, check again. There's still more. Say, Adamus, that I have to have. I'll let go of all these other things. I'll be pretty clear. I'll be 99% clear, and therefore I'll be able to get 99% freedom. No. No, all has to go. You can't hang on to any. And you're going to go through some torment, perhaps, and some anxiety. And then you're going to question, say, well, what did he really say? And then you're going to get philosophical about it. You're going to talk to other Shambhara, and then you're all going to try to dissect what I said. You don't need purpose in your life. You don't need purpose to exist, period. Period. And then you're going to exist in a new way. Really, really wonderful, new, liberated way. So these are the elements that are influencing your life right now. They're tough, but you're better than that. You're allowing yourself to experience them because you are expanding. You are the standards. You are, that's all purpose too. You just are, and that's a beautiful thing. Let's take a deep breath and move on into our next segment, a very important. Or not. A long time ago, I feel like I'm going to tuck you in here in a minute. Once upon a time, long time ago on Earth, there was this thing called magic. Now, some of you are going to ask later, well, why didn't I call it fantasy? Well, fantasy has a bad connotation, so I'm going to call it magic. But a long time ago on Earth, as in the other realms, there was something called magic. Magic was this creative expression and creative interchange into the other realms. Long time ago on Earth, you were able to actually experience, to feel, to touch, to see things like the wind fairies. Wind fairies, they float in the air. They float on the air. They go by you. Your mind says, oh, that was just a breeze. No, that could have been a wind fairy. There are cloud angels, and your eyes see them on occasion, but then your mind jumps in and says, well, no, that's just the air movements and patterns in the sky with the temperature and the moisture affecting the shape of the water droplets that are suspended in midair. Okay, it's an interesting way to live, but there actually are cloud angels. There's actually been a unicorn over in the corner the whole meeting. And some of you have actually felt something strange, but your mind shuts down. Well, that's nonsense. Can't start thinking that. They're going to think we're crazy. No, they already think you're crazy, so it's okay. Experience the unicorn. There are gnomes. There are elf fairies. There are water elementals, little brilliant, beautiful, magical beings in the water themselves. There's Merlin. Very real. Very much a part of reality right now. But humans have shut out magic in their lives because it doesn't make sense. Right, Charlie? It doesn't make sense. It's not in the patterns that you should be in. So it was squeezed out a long time ago, shut down, so that everything could be in its nice proper order, and we didn't have crazy humans seeing little energies running around. Seeing little invisible magical energies. They're an essential part of Earth. They've worked with Gaia since the beginning of Earth to sustain life on this planet. They are still around. They are changing right now also. A lot of the elementals, the magical beings that have been here, Now, some of them are leaving, new ones are coming in. They don't necessarily take on the physical qualities that you would have in elves and leprechauns. These are real, my dear friends. These are real. These aren't just fairy tales for little kids. They're very, very real. And unfortunately, with the loss of creativity, the loss of imagination on Earth, they went along the wayside also. They were forgotten about. So what happens when they're ignored, or when humans turn their back on them? They are incompassionate, so they turn their back and leave because they're not wanted. But they wait. They wait for the right time, and it's right now. It's time that magic come back to this Earth. Magic does several things. It opens the corridors between the dimensions. These are dimensional beings, generally non-physical, magical beings. They come now to work with humans on Earth who are, just for the joy of it, just for the joy of creating the new Earth, just because you can. They are going to be in the air, in the earth, in the water, all around you. They're coming into your dream state if you allow them. They're coming into your imagination if you use it. They're not here to give you answers. They're here to play. They're here to help you move into dimensions that you've never gone into before, to help you expand out of your mind. They're here to help balance the new energies, to keep the new energies flowing, to keep them clear. And they're here. They're in the room now. They've been showing up in your life. Little wisp you see over at the side. A little tune you hear, but the moment you focus on it, it seems to go away. A little feeling at night when you're sleeping, like something might have just come by and brushed against you. Again, we're in the time of the return of magic. You've worked with it before, so there's nothing really to learn right now. It's just about allowing it back in. Yes, there'll be some new ones that come in that you haven't experienced in the past, but you're going to relate to them because the elementals, the magic beings, are simply the manifestations of your past infusions. Put it this way: when the angelic beings came down to seed the earth with life energy, they infused this magic into earth. When you came in and took on physical body, one of the first things you did was start infusing or breathing life into the things around you. By the way, one of the trainings that we've done in some of the old mystery schools, we'd make ceramic statues or ceramic figures and have you sit there for years breathing and infusing in until that statue came to life. Start walking, talking, moving around, and then you understood the infusing. You don't need to sit there for years anymore. You just need to do it. This is a new energy. It doesn't take as long. That being said, these magical beings are the manifestation of your infusions, of your breathing your life into the water, into the air, into the ground, into the animals, into the invisible realms. They're yours. They've been shut out for a long time. They're ready to come back now. Well, let me say, you're ready for them to come back. This will help do many, many things. It will open your imagination. It will, if you allow it, give you just great joy to play with them. Well, at first it's going to seem a little odd because you've been told that if you're 4 years old now, you can't have these imaginary friends. I'll tell you what, some of the greatest beings of our time would not necessarily reveal it, but Thomas Edison, a grand inventor, some of you have certain feelings about him, but Edison would play with the elementals. he allowed himself that that luxury, that he allowed himself that what would you say, that pastime. He enjoyed doing it. He didn't tell anybody about it because he knew they would think he was crazy. But it's also where he received some of his best ideas. Not because they gave it to them, but because he was in creative mode. And he would have the answers. It has been used by Einstein, by some of the greatest thinkers, musicians, Mozart, on. They would allow themselves to play with the magic of life. Of course, they couldn't talk about it. They couldn't express it. But they knew it was an important element in their joy of life, in their work. Now, some of them said, I'm brilliant, but I must be crazy because I'm doing this. So they were afraid that they were losing their mind. Actually, they were. That was a good thing. So, dear Jean-Bro, I'm going to ask John to play that last song from Anders, what we played coming into this session. I'm going to ask you to really breathe in and allow yourself, go crazy. There are a lot of beings in this room right now, ranging from our ever-present unicorn to the little elves and the air wisps and everything else. Some again which don't even take on physical type qualities. Allow yourself to just experience them. How do you do that? Well, not up here. You do that by just opening up, breathing, and playing. Let's just be playful for a moment. John? Invite your Bacchus in right now. Part of the magic. You created your Bacchus. Part of you. It's the expression of yourself. They're magical beings, and they play with these other beings. It's been so long since these beings were allowed to come in, or since you allowed yourself to experience them. It brings back a lot of fun. It doesn't have to be a grand purpose other than just bringing back what's natural into your life, going beyond the patterns and the limitations. It adds so much color to life. But at the same time, It opens the corridors between the dimensions, provides a way to really help balance and keep the new energies flowing. Bringing back the magic right now, and all these magical beings are also what a lot of what you call the crystal children, the new ones coming in. It's what gives them their playthings, helps them stay in the imagination. Actually, if you could imagine a being who's never been on Earth before, coming in for their first incarnation, going through a lot of training in the New Earth schools, but coming in for the first time and feeling the harsh reality of Earth, just like you were feeling before, going deep down into the water, that extreme pressure on your body, sense of confusion and disorientation. By bringing these magical beings back right now, will make it so much easier for them, will make it so much more comfortable and soothing for them. Do it for yourself. Bring back the magic for you, but you're also doing it for the new ones. With that, my dear friends, I'm off to a meeting in Florence. Remember, all is well in all of creation, and therefore I am Adamus, in service to you. Arrivederci. Altered by all these energies, deep within self is freeing and liberating. There's nothing wrong. Absolutely. Nothing wrong. Do you have enough amyo to allow yourself to accept that? It's not about belief. It's about what's real, what's you. There is so much pressure right now. But you, as very wise, very experienced human angels, can take all of that, can take all of the incoming assault, all of the exiting energies, and they're all just energies. You can actually alchemize or transmute them. It's just energy. It's not good or bad. In reality, it doesn't have any real pressure on. It doesn't have any chaos in it. It's just energy. And you can actually breathe it in. This craziness, this supposed craziness that's happening on Earth, you can breathe it in. Just like you breathed me in before. You say, but you want me to breathe in chaos, more craziness? No, I want to breathe in all this terrorist energy, all this duality, all this anger and hate on Earth? Absolutely. Absolutely. Suck it in. Eat it up. Drink it down. Because it's just energy. In reality, it doesn't have any spin on it at all. It's just because it's difficult to interpret, difficult to translate in the old energy systems It's confusing people. It's just pure energy. It is. Yes, there are days you read the news or look on the internet and you say, this is a crazy place. Absolutely, it is. But it's just energy. So now it's time, if you choose, to tell every part of yourself, your body, your mind, your spirit, every part of yourself, there's nothing wrong.
Oh, viewers, if you want to chat, just come on in or not.
Oh, false signals going out there. That's number one. What's going on? Pressure. Pressure. Number two, you can come up from underwater now. Really, just imagine yourself up out of that wetsuit. Patterns. Patterns. You know, it's interesting. Any species of being that I'm ever aware of, whether it's human or not, whether it's in this earth or other places, has a tendency to develop patterns and systems anywhere, really. Even if it's pure creative energy, some other dimension, there is this, I guess, a natural tendency to create patterns. Patterns are a great way of understanding yourself and understanding the world around you. However, Earth has become extremely patterned. Everything in patterns. The way you incarnate, the way you eat, the way you pray, everything about the human life has become more and more structured, systemized, less freedom and independence. Now that you have things like printed documents. Printing is not that old in the scheme of things. Things could be printed and therefore organized into books and organized into shelves and now organized into energetic patterns. Internet, new patterns. These are all ways of patterning. There's a lot of humans that think that patterns make life simpler. No, 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 they don't. They make life more confusing. More things to have to remember. Less freedom. Freedom is the birthright of your soul. When patterns restrict that, make life much more challenging, a lot more difficult. So what you're going through right now, you have given yourself the gift of depatterning. Depatterning. You probably had little, maybe big clues in your life about it, but the structures you were in before are going away. It's very disconcerting at first because those patterns kind of helped you stay in line. Those patterns, you helped make sense out of day-to-day life. Well, they really didn't. But the patterns are going away. The patterns of marriage, relationships, money, food, diet, health, all of the patterns are starting to break apart. The way you have known music in the past, the way you have known psychology in the past, anything that has been part of your work or part of your play, the way you write, the patterns are changing. It's frustrating because as much as you've asked for change, much as you've demanded change, the minute it comes, you're like, oh my God, what's happening? Adama said, oh, how many calls a night do I get? A lot. So never miss an opportunity. That's what I always say. Ever. So now you have some fairly apparent patterns on the surface. And by the way, as you depattern yourself, you're going to find a lot more freedom. You get past the discomfort. You find a lot more freedom. It affects other people around you more than it affects you. Because they're used to your patterns. They set up their patterns in relationship to your patterns, and pretty soon everybody has their patterns, and the conventional wisdom is that then everything flows better. The real wisdom is that everything comes to a halt. It doesn't work very well. You're depatterning naturally. You don't have to do it now. You have given yourself the gift of depatterning. Depatterning. You probably had little, maybe big clues in your life about it, but the structures you were in before are going away. It's very disconcerting at first because those patterns kind of helped you stay in line. Those patterns, you helped make sense out of day-to-day life, and they really didn't. But the patterns are going away. The patterns of marriage, relationships, money, food, diet, health, all of the patterns are starting to break apart. The way you have known music in the past, the way you have known psychology in the past, anything that that has been part of your work or part of your play, the way you write, the patterns are changing. It's frustrating because as much as you've asked for change, much as you've demanded change, the minute it comes, you're like, oh my God, what's happening? Adama said, oh, how many calls a night do I get? A lot. So never miss an opportunity. Maybe big clues in your life about it, but the structures you were in before are going away. It's very disconcerting at first because those patterns kind of helped you stay in line. Those patterns, you helped make sense out of day-to-day life, and they really didn't. But the patterns are going away. The patterns of marriage, relationships, money, food, diet, health, all of the patterns are starting to break apart. The way you have known music in the past, the way you have known psychology in the past, anything that that has been part of your work or part of your play, the way you write, the patterns are changing. It's frustrating because as much as you've asked for change, much as you've demanded change, the minute it comes, you're like, oh my God, what's happening? Adama said, oh, how many calls a night do I get? A lot. So never miss an opportunity. That's what I always say, ever. So now you have some fairly apparent patterns on the surface, and by the way, as you depattern yourself, you're going to find a lot more freedom. You get past the discomfort. You find a lot more freedom. It affects other people around you more than it affects you. Because they're used to your patterns. They set up their patterns in relationship to your patterns, and pretty soon everybody has their patterns, and the conventional wisdom is that then everything flows better. The real wisdom is that everything comes to a halt. It doesn't work very well. You're depatterning naturally. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go out and buy a depatterning crystal, although I'm sure somebody would sell you one. Great idea. A few of you are thinking, I know, there's one of you in Holland right now that's already writing this down. Stop that. Don't do that. So, but there's another pattern that's actually more deeply embedded, that's more challenging. It's so much a part of you, it's such a big part of you, you actually don't really see it. So I'm going to ask here, with the assistance of Linda and the microphone, tell me a challenge in your life. Tell me an issue in your life, something affecting you in your life, and I'll tell you the pattern, if you dare to share. Dare to share. Oh, it's all volunteer here.
I was sitting here saying, I'm not saying a thing. I'm not going to say anything.
An issue, something, something that's stuck and blocked.
Which one do you want?
The second on your list. First is a little personal.
Recreating myself.
Recreating yourself, yes.
Yeah, recareering myself.
Recareering yourself. Good. Okay, thank you. So that's very pragmatic. So actually, I'll talk about that in a moment. I'll wait on that one. I have a brilliant dissertation here in just a moment. So we'll come back. Another. Patterns. What's a challenge? What's at you, Mary? What's really working at you right now?
My throat issue.
Your throat issue. That's a simple pattern. Okay. Throat issue. Generally speaking, throat issue, you're not in your voice or spirit. Stand up, Mary. Stand up. We're going to have a shout out here. I'm going to shout at you. You're going to shout at me. Get the energy moving. Okay. So on the count of 3, we're both going to scream at the top of our lungs, okay?
With the microphone.
No, put the microphone down. And just raw, open screaming. Okay, on the count of 3, I'll take mine off. 1, 2, 3. That was good. But no, that was not good. That was terrible, actually. So, yeah, it's still stuck in there. Okay, so we will do it together. On 3, 1, 2, 3.